Hello, hello, howdy, what is going on? Welcome back. This is episode 284 of the Life and Transitions YouTube channel, probate, Facebook group, and podcast. I mentioned probate because that is what I am a specialist in. I am the probate property specialist, which means I help families make the probate and estate planning process easier by helping generate income and wealth through real estate. It's one of the main ways that I, as an investor, can find properties that I can either put in my portfolio or help people come up with solutions for them, whether they want to sell that property quickly or perhaps they want to keep it in the family, want to find ways to secure their legacy. Quite often, when folks are involved in a probate, which let me take a step back and say is the process of settling the affairs of someone who's passed away. If you pass away or if someone passes away with property in their name or debt in their name, quite often they have to go through what's called probate so that it can be settled. Now, there are ways that you can make sure your estate avoids probate by doing things now. Or helping people, your loved ones around you, do things now. If you want more information about that, definitely reach out to me. It's one of my missions to help people secure their legacy, this hard earned, uh, not just legacy when it comes to property and assets, but the assets they have as far as their mission and their values that they want to carry on with their families. There's ways you can secure that through some legal instruments to let your voice be heard, or at least those values to be carry on beyond your years here. Again, I'm Courtney Rollins, and it's a pleasure to chat with you. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the chat. Almost all my content is directly from real life situations and conversations and experiences I have with folks. Now, I'm not a financial advisor or an attorney, so I'm not giving legal or financial advice. I am sharing my experience, and hopefully, it's helpful to folks. So, you may have found yourself in a situation where you're trying to sell a property quickly that you've just inherited, or perhaps it's going through probate for whatever reason. So let's look at 9 tips that I found to be very useful for folks who are going through the probate process and are trying to sell it for cash, specifically in North Carolina. Let's go. Number one, this is not in particular order. Understand the probate process. Now, you don't need to have passed the bar, but you need to at least have understanding of what steps are taken. There are a lot of times that I'm able to help folks out who want to sell their property because I understand where and what needs to take place when it comes to the timeline, when you actually can sell the property, when it actually has to go through probate and things of that nature. So, whatever state you're in, make sure that you have a general understanding of the probate process. And please know that there are some amazing attorneys out there. Just like there's different type of doctors, there's different type of attorneys, and just like there's different doctors with different specialties and different experience in there, you may come across folks who maybe don't deal in probate or estate law as much, and they're not and a no to being able to sell may actually be I don't know. So there are some awesome attorneys out there. It just depends on different experiences, even with real estate investors, and we'll talk about that later. But or real estate consultants who may not be aware and may tell you no, this can't be done when actually it's a no, I'm not sure how it's done. So check around, reach out to folks, and don't take the first no as a definite no, because there are people who have experience who can uh, show you ways to legally sell the property while it's even in the probate process. I'm doing that actually closing on the property next week where we were able to close it before the probate's done because we put the proper steps in place to make sure it needs to be done. Another thing to know, just a tip, just recognize that this is almost across the stage of anything and when it comes to uh, services: price, speed, and convenience. Quite often, you can only choose two of those. If you want to sell quickly, or you want to sell at a good price, and you want speed, then there may be some. Then that's probably one of the more challenging spaces. It may not be convenient. You may need a lot of people to get into the property. You may need to show it quite often. You may need to stage it. You may need to do a lot of things there. So the convenience may not be you're able to get. If you want speed and convenience, then you're most certainly or quite often going to provide a discount in price. If you want what's the last one? Convenience and price, then it may take a while as far as the speed is concerned. So quite often when you talk about services, particularly in real estate, price, speed, and convenience. You can only choose two. So be aware of that. And it's different for each person. All right. So be aware of what you may have the threshold for. And if you're able to get all three, whoo, that's a golden goose, and go get it. And good luck with that. Make sure all heirs and all stakeholders are on board and are aware of what's going on. You really don't want to get into any either legal issues or even conflict just in life when it comes to selling property that's either heired to you or even to other folks who are officially heirs or unofficially. Legally, you'll need to, if they are heirs, get them to sign off on this on the sale quite often. So it's always good to just make sure everyone's on board and that you're clear. Number four, if you have the opportunity, this is not necessary, but if you have the opportunity, clear out the interior and see what you can do to enhance the curb appeal, particularly curb appeal. A lot of people are first impressions say a lot, so just cutting the grass and things of that nature can really help with someone with it translating into more value on the property. And so that can help you, especially clear spaces can help as well. Now, it's not always the case, and sometimes you may have a property that's run down or worn out because of just years of issues, and someone, a cash buyer, may be able to come in and take that off your hands and deal with the issues there. But if you have the ability, it's really going to help with the price quite often and the value that it seems to convey. Working with a cash buyer is also very helpful, particularly in the probate process, where even though you do have to wait on certain timelines, being able to move quickly when you can, you're going to be able to move quicker with a cash buyer quite often because they won't need to go through the traditional underwriting that many other traditional buyers will need to go through. So consider that. And number seven, be transparent. I know this is a property that you may have inherited. You may not be aware of all the things, but if you do have an understanding that maybe someone passed away in there, or maybe there's some leaky faucets or things of that nature, or these people need to also sign off, be aware that the more transparent you can be with everyone involved, the smoother the process is going to be. And that's going to be very helpful. Number eight, just like we were saying earlier, closing attorneys that understand the probate process is important as well. Not all closing attorneys work in probate quite often, and not all closing attorneys are equal when it comes to dealing with property that is inherited or having to go through the probate process. And so it connects directly with number nine, working with a probate property specialist. It's a shameless plug, but even if you don't go with Estate Pro Service, which that's my company, find someone who is a probate expert or probate specialist in your space. You will find, I am sure, a smoother process because, again, as we said, knowledge is power, or applied knowledge rather is power. So being able to apply the knowledge that someone has or leverage their experience is so helpful. If you would like to work with Estate Pro Service or um, even have some referrals to other spaces, feel free to reach out to me. 443-990-1687 is the number. Courtney at estateproservice.com. You can email me there or go to the website, estateproservice.com. If you're looking on YouTube or in the video on Facebook, you see that I'm like the hub in the wheel where I connect you to different people, team members. I'm a part of their team, they're a part of my team. So financial advisors, attorneys, investors such as myself, real estate listings with brokerages and realtors, contractors, repairs. If you need to deal with the personal property and perhaps create a set up an estate sale. The clean out and the cleanup crew is very important, or helping folks who may still be here move when it comes to senior transitions. I'm also a senior transition property specialist. So I really take good pride in supporting and serving, helping folks with a heart, head, and hands-on approach to navigating this process. All right. I'm Courtney Rollins. This is the Life and Transitions Experts channel. That's LITE. Let your light shine. Cheers.